Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. My name is Michael Roebuck. They know me as Michael J. I'm your MC for this wonderful event here at the prestigious, beautiful ballroom of the Lincoln Theater, and celebrating the 2023 Cocktail Countdown. I want to get that right. And everybody, I want you to enjoy yourselves and eat a little bit. The band is copacetic, and they live up to their name. Give them a hand one more time as they bring us some wonderful, wonderful music. Thank you.
sure? Are you sure? I don't know what, I don't have your time sheet, so I don't know when you make an announcement. So go right ahead.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Michael J. Roebuck. I'm your MC. Welcome to the Cocktail Countdown. Getting you ready for the program. I want to welcome everybody here. It's great to see you. Enjoy yourselves and put your hands together for the wonderful job, the wonderful band called Copacetic, setting the tone for us.
Bless him, Lord. Bless him. All right, here we go. Steady.
time for the band Copacetic. Again, I'm Michael J. Thank you so much for joining us for Cocktails and Countdown. Of course, we're going to be leading up to the big, wonderful project, Voice and Vision, in the beautiful, historic Lincoln Theater. Want to welcome everyone here. Have a wonderful time and more from our wonderful band right about now. Put your hands together, please. Copacetic.
acoustic or Rhodes on this song?
Rose, I think. Yeah.
Ready? Here we go. Drum intro, drum intro. One, two, the intro from the song. One, two, three. Pick something. What do you want to play, man? Okay. Something in my heart. All right, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Everybody put your hands together for Copacetic. You're doing a wonderful job. Welcome to the ballroom at the beautiful historic Lincoln Theater. My name is Michael Roebuck. Glad to be your MC for this part of it and getting you ready with the cocktail countdown leading up to the big program, the Voice and Vision Project. Mr. James Price is going to be your MC, so we're glad you're here. Enjoy. Isn't the food wonderful? Everything wonderful? Yes, indeed. So glad to have you here. And again, give it up for our beautiful, wonderful band with that wonderful, great jazz, positive vibe, Copacetic. Beautiful music from Copacetic. Please give them a hand. I'm glad everybody's enjoying the cocktail countdown. The cocktail countdown is going to take us to the actual program downstairs in the beautiful Lincoln Theater. And I want to ask everybody if you could please begin to head down from the ballroom here at the Lincoln to downstairs in the theater, because our program will be starting shortly. And again, we're so glad that you're here. Thank you. little hand for our band, Copacetic. Setting the tone, nice jazz vibe. Again, I'm Mike, or Michael J. Robot. Glad to have you all here. We're winding down the cocktail countdown. I want to ask everybody to head down to the beautiful Lincoln Theater for the start of our program shortly. So as we wind it down, I can't thank you enough for joining us here in the beautiful ballroom at the historic Lincoln Theater. And the Voice and Vision project will be starting promptly at 6:30. So we're winding down. Thank you one and all. I shook every hand I could shake tonight. Uh-oh, sorry about that. I was one bite away from not being able to button this tuck, so I think I did okay. And once again, show some love to Copacetic. Thank you guys so much for a fantastic job.
gentlemen, please find your seats in the theater. We'll be starting our program shortly.
Hey, Derek, you know when I see you by Fantasia?
No,
Y'all can't follow me, I'm finna play it.
What tune is it?
He said when I see you by Fantasia.
Oh.
The girl ain't got no business seeing. See? She should be. See your face in the mirror.
Good Lord. And you guys know Anytime, Any Place by Janet Jackson?
Okay.
That'd be
I
pretty
know that
sweet.
song.
Yeah.
Oh,
That has a
so,
whole different connotation. But
so beautiful.
in time and you mean the Lincoln?
You know, what's the other one by Janet that we do?
By who?
Janet Jackson, the Norman Brown.
Oh, That's the Way Love Goes?
Yeah, you know that
Yeah,
one?
yeah, I know that one, yeah.
You know that one?
Y'all wanna
That's
do
the
it?
way love goes.
Y'all wanna do it?
It's in B flat, isn't it? I have the track. Let's do it.
Yeah.
1, 2.
I gotta switch guitars.
Oh, you gotta switch guitars for that?
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. We're gonna wait for you, Derek. Go ahead.
All right.
See, I was getting ready to do some of that David Anthony for you, but I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Oh, let's do that. Let's do David.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that.
What tune is that one?
Yeah. David Anthony,
What's the name of the song?
something about you.
Oh, okay.
Bum, 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 bum.
Oh, right.
Y'all ready? Did you have to switch guitars for that one too? Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please. We need everyone to go down to the auditorium. The program is beginning now. We need everyone to go down to the auditorium, please. Thank you.
It's Tommy.
Are we done?
We good. We good. We come and eat. Let's go eat.
Okay.
Come and clip it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, local performing artist, Mason Brown.
Welcome. I'm here at Mulvey Place, one of our communities that is welcoming new residents this fall. As I speak, residents are signing leases and making plans to move into this premier, affordable senior community in the heart of Linden. This development consists of 100 1- and 2-bedroom apartments with accessible design elements and features specifically built to support healthy living for our older adult residents and support their ability to age in place with dignity. Here in the vibrant Cleveland Avenue corridor, residents have access to CODA buses, to the recently built Linden Recreation Center, and community partners serving the area, like the Linden Fresh Market and local mainstays like Ina's Caribbean Kitchen. In partnership with Columbus Next Gen, Homeport designed this development to respond to the community's One Linden plan, focused on revitalizing this corridor, creating new housing opportunities, and building on the bigger vision that has been coming together with the help of the residents and stakeholders of Linden. Our senior residents in Central Ohio face many hurdles when related to housing. One is price point. Mulvey is priced so that rents are going to be between 30% and 60% of the area median income, making it affordable for seniors on fixed incomes that are getting SSI or other services like that. Seniors are often struggling with finding housing that's not only affordable, but also accessible, and all of our Mulvey apartments are designed to meet ADA standards. Seniors are also more likely to become socially isolated, and the indoor and outdoor community spaces at Mulvey offer opportunities for residents to foster vibrant social connections. Due to the lack of affordable housing in our marketplace, seniors are often pushed into living with friends and relatives or into assisted living facilities earlier than they need. And places like Mulvey offer them a home where they can remain independent without the responsibilities of ownership. As an added bonus, this project was created to meet green building standards and ensure that units are energy efficient and sustainable for generations to come. Now follow me as we head over to our other brand new community, Easton Place Homes. We're standing in front of one of our newest developments, Easton Place Homes, which is part of one of our city's economic engines, Easton Town Center. On site at Easton, there are 25,000 retail, commercial, and hospitality jobs, as well as office jobs with major regional employers like Chase and Huntington. This development was formed, much like Homeport, as a public-private partnership with the City of Columbus and the Georgetown Company to serve the diverse housing needs of Easton and the greater Columbus community. This is one example of how housing affordability can be served by being in proximity to employment, services, and recreation, reducing the reliance on private transportation like your own car or even public transportation. This community includes 1-, 2-, and 3-bedroom townhomes and apartments, serving individuals, seniors, and families. This is phase 1. And we look forward to celebrating the start of the second phase that will bring in an additional 100 apartments by the end of 2025. The hurdles we face in developing this property are much like the hurdles our residents face. They're looking at labor shortages, skyrocketing housing prices, the people that work at Easton and the ability to attract jobs and employers to the same place that people live. Now here, we know that over 20,000 of those workers income qualified to be able to live at this development. It's in close proximity to all the things that we look for, including jobs, services, and transportation. And while we were developing, we really had to contend with the current market conditions. We had to face the hurdle of property-specific zoning and the costs that continued to increase while we tried to close during a pandemic. Easton Place is reflective of our value of partnerships and our commitment to developing strong communities that are mixed income as well as diverse and support the long-term vitality of this great community. Now we have one last stop to see before we make it to our event. I can't believe how much the neighborhood has transformed since we first broke ground in North Abroad. As you can see since then, the surrounding area has seen a world of change. It's gratifying to see this community thriving. My first job with Homeport was as the Director of Home Ownership and Neighborhood Revitalization. Our team occupied an office on Long Street in the Gateway Building, and every day we had the pleasure to be with the community as we built and sold homes, led community cleanups and beautification projects, and invested in the businesses and commercial spaces on Long Street. We first started our work in 2004 with our first home sold on 21st Street. Almost 20 years later, we have built and sold over 80 homes, with our most recent closing just this past September. During this time, Homeport has invested more than $15 million in public and private funds to honor the history, legacy, and treasured assets of the Near East Side. Hurdles faced by homeowners on the Near East Side and home buyers include rising interest rates, increased property taxes, and the pressures of displacement and gentrification. Hurdles that Homeport is facing as it relates to this neighborhood include the cost of home building and the ability to secure sites for new development. We're overcoming these hurdles with your partnership and collaboration every day. I look forward to seeing you.
Welcome to the stage, Elder Larry Price, Homeport Board Secretary.
Good evening. You could do better than that. He said, Elder Larry Price. You got to talk back to me. Now, I'm going to try this again. Good evening. I could have said God is good, too, but that's true, too. All right, I know I had some church folk in the house. All right. I just hope I'm as smooth as Leah was in the video. Right? I'd like to thank everyone for coming, for being here tonight at Voice and Vision. I am Elder Larry Price, Homeport Board and Secretary. We have an incredible evening planned for you all, and I'm eager to get into it. Emmett Kelly, Chair of the Homeport Board of Directors, was originally scheduled to greet you all this evening, but regrettably could not be here in person. In preparation for tonight, Emmett put together a video welcome for all of us. I'm sorry, okay. So now I know what the Emmys feel like. Heaven forbid the projector go out. I'm used to going with a script. Anyway, Emmett has been a part of the board for 10 years and has chaired it for 2, representing the group through the aftermath of the pandemic and many other challenges. We are proud to have him as board chair and excited for him to kick off this great event. Here he is, Emmett Kelly.
Hello, everyone. I'm Emmett Kelly, Chair of the Homeport Board of Directors, and I'm here to welcome you to our annual program, Voice and Vision. I truly wish I could be there in person to celebrate with you all. This is going to be an exciting evening with opportunities to learn more about the work we do and the impact it can have. You'll hear from clients and residents tonight who are kind enough to share their stories, and you'll hear from key leaders in the affordable housing space who are keenly aware of the hurdles we have ahead of us and the ways we can overcome them. I want to personally congratulate Columbus Urban League President and CEO Stephanie Hightower as our Voice and Vision honoree. Stephanie has been a true leader and inspiration for us all, and she has devoted her leadership talents and passion to make a difference in our community and beyond, especially throughout her tenure leading the Columbus Urban League, where she has been a transformational force helping families and individuals overcome poverty and advocating for social justice and racial equity. We have many speakers to hear from this evening, including our honoree, Stephanie Hightower. I recently had the joy of going on one of Homeport's Strengthening Communities bus tour with Stephanie. I am truly inspired by her commitment to the cause and with how she leverages her position at the Urban League to advance fair housing efforts, expand rental assistance, and bring about community-wide equity. Thank you, Stephanie, and all you do to push our collective mission forward. Everyone, Have a great evening.
And Emmett's doing a wonderful job in leading our board of directors. As Emmett said, we are going to be hearing from folks who make our work possible and folk who have reminded us every day why it's necessary. I joined the Homeport board in 2020, but my connection with the organization goes much further. As a former state representative and having worked closely with other elected officials, I have long seen the need for housing and the value of organizations like Homeport in creating an Ohio that houses everyone. If we are to be the best place to live, work, and raise a family, then how we treat those who are less fortunate, especially when it comes to housing, is important. Affordable housing has been and will continue to be a challenge in this city, in this state, and country. It is how we approach the challenge that makes a difference. Homeport has learned to work with the city and county along with other organizations like the Columbus Urban League to begin to effectively combat some of these challenges. This year, we are presenting our Voice of Vision Award to not only the president and CEO of Columbus Urban League, who I had the pleasure of going to the Ohio State University. I'm not going to tell you when. But I had the pleasure of going at the same time she went. But she's a woman who represents the tenacity and strength of spirit it takes to face challenges head on and build a strong community. Stephanie Hightower. Stephanie and the Columbus Urban League has been key partners of Homeport for years. And as for many of us, the last 3 of those years have been rife with hurdles. Hurdles, something Stephanie knows about. Hurdles that I watched at Ohio State when she became one of the leading, and I'm not going to get too much in your history, Stephanie, but she was the baddest thing at OSU when we were there to go on to the Olympics. That wasn't on the script, but that's true. Hurdles. You're going to be hearing that word a lot tonight. This evening program is themed Overcoming Hurdles, Achieving Excellence. Through this theme, we celebrate all we can accomplish when we have the courage to see past the obstacles, come to the table with creative solutions, and foster partnerships that grow our impact. Our president and CEO, Leah Evans, who's doing a marvelous job, has been instrumental in this process and has led us through a year of incredible growth. In the last year, we have proudly announced the opening of Maple Meadows and 2 more communities coming soon, Mulberry Place and Easton Place Homes. Today, Homeport has 44 developments and counting. And I am eager to see how Leah's leadership and Homeport's executive team guide their dedicated and passionate staff through another year of success. As we begin our program, it is critically important that we thank our sponsors, beginning with our presenting sponsor, MI Homes. Strong community sponsors, D.R. Hardin. That's right. We could not do what we do without our sponsors, so I know there are those, and I'm one of them. Why is there a long list of sponsors? Because there's a long list of bills, right, Leah? All right, we're going to keep on. The Georgetown Company and OCCH, American Electric Power Foundation, EMHNT, and we couldn't live without banks, so there'll be several. Fifth Third Bank, First Merchants Bank, Huntington National Bank, Installed Building Products, Kelly Companies, PNC, the Robert Weiler Company, Rockford Homes, State Auto Insurance Companies, and Wallet Communities. Our Education Empowers sponsors, CMHA, Park National Bank, Team Fishel, and one anonymous sponsor. That could be me, by the way. Since there ain't no name up there, I'm gonna claim it. No, but we appreciate those who give and really don't want their name known, but they understand there's a commitment to affordable housing in the city of Columbus. So we do accept gifts. You ain't got to tell us your name. We'll take the money. All right. Columbus Realtors. These are our opportunity sponsors, The Dispatch and Live. Thank you, and thank you to all of our sponsors and supporters of Homeport. We'd also like to acknowledge the many, many public officials or their representatives in attendance from the federal, state, and local. We know we could not exist without Congresswoman Beatty, who helps us on our federal level. We have State Senator Herschel Craig, Dontavius Geralds, and there are others. And of course the city, without Mayor Ginther. You know, we go to everybody's plate. Mayor Ginther and City Council to make sure that we're making a difference in affordable housing in the city of Columbus. Now, please join me in welcoming to the stage Omar Elhab Musa, a senior lender with IFF. IFF has been a critical partner for Homeport, financing the permanent loan that brought us our Maple Meadows community. Maple Meadows opened in January of this year, bringing 56 units of affordable housing to the Northland community. It's partners like IFF that enable Homeport to further our mission of closing the gap. Welcome to the stage, Omar.
Welcome to the stage, Omar Elhaj Musa, lender, IFF.
Thank you. Another warm reception. I'm pleased to join you all for this wonderful event celebrating an organization that is doing the work to expand access to affordable housing here in Central Ohio. As we'll hear shortly, Homeport does more than develop homes. It develops opportunities for every person who dreams of owning a home to achieve that dream. I bet y'all are wondering, who is this fool up on stage? I don't know him. Well, allow me to introduce myself. I am the statewide lender for IFF, CDFI, Community Development Financial Institution. And I'm also a former Civic Association president, area commissioner, and health center trustee. And I owe that all to being a graduate of Columbus City Schools. Shout out to Windsor Terrace. I'm also a beneficiary of Homeport services. Homeport's home buyer education training helped arm me with the knowledge to make an informed decision about my first home. And I've never forgotten the generosity and kindness of the Homeport training staff in guiding me through that unknown process. Now, we get to hear from a Homeport resident with a story that reminds us of why companies like IFF partner with organizations like Homeport. This year, Maggie Parks marks 5 years in her Milo Grogan home that she was able to purchase after completing Homeport's home buyer education workshop. This home has provided stability and security for Maggie, her son Brian, and her aging mother. Brian, who is 13 at the time of purchase, is now 18 and on his way to Columbus State Community College. Let's hear more from Maggie herself.
hours, many jobs. In the home that I was living in or renting at the time, it was a small place, and it was getting to the point to where we were outgrowing it. I wanted something better, something more. The neighborhood started getting to be a little crazy, and I said, it's time, we gotta find something else. So when I started on researching for down payment assistance, I made a phone call, reached out, and they said, here's what you need to do. You need to take homebuyers education's class, get a lender. Here's the numbers. So Homeport was the first number, and I said, okay, I'm gonna call these wonderful people, and wonderful people they have been. Homeport's home readiness classes was a real eye-opener. So much information that you don't see until it's put in front of you. I am a task-driven person, and Homeport had it laid out. You know, we had a plan, you know, save this much a month, pay this down a month. So everything they gave me, you know, if they wanted $50 saved a month, I would save $100. If they wanted me to pay something down $25, I would pay it down $50. Give me a task, I'm knocking it out. From the time I signed up and took my first homebuyers education class to I closed on my house exactly was 6 months. I have a creative cave, as I like to call it, in the basement where I do my sewing, beadwork, painting, just whatever creative thing comes to mind. Oh, my son's contributed so much to our home. He is the landscaping guy. He does the lawn. He has his daily chores that he's responsible for. He's part of watering the plants and taking pride, making sure the yard's clean. So he has just as much to do as all of us here. I think the biggest impact, I would have to say, it's like a sense of security. It's like my security blanket. When you think of home, you think of a place that's yours, that you can just go to at the end of the day and just relax. So it's a big security blanket for me, knowing that I have this here and that it's mine. I'm so grateful. I am so grateful for Homeport and everything they've done for me and my family. Overcoming hurdles and achieving excellence, it means to me a lot of the times doing things in life that you don't want to do, but doing them because you have to. And if that was something I had to do, work harder to get towards my goals, that was something I was going to do. I sit in my house in awe and look around like, this is mine, this is actually mine. And I'm so thankful and so happy every day that I'm here and this is mine. I know I keep saying it over and over, but I'm just so happy.
Welcome to the stage, my lovely wife, Laverne Price, Senior Director, Resource Development at Homeport.
Good evening, and thank you all for being here tonight to hear about Homeport's impact on our community.
It's incredible to see Maggie find security and stability in a home that's all hers, encouraging to see what Homeport's work can achieve. In the last 10 years, homebuyer education classes from Homeport have helped more than 2,500 people become homeowners. To know stories like Maggie's, are happening all over Central Ohio reminds us of the importance of Homeport's work in the marketplace.
Long before I became Senior Director of the Resource Development Department, James and I were actually clients of Homeport, taking a workshop for first-time homebuyers. After attending a parade of homes at Framingham, we signed into a lease option home at $1,100 per month. But after more consideration, we decided that we'd rather put that money into a mortgage of our own first home. Through Homeport's counseling, we found that it was just as feasible to build our own home as it was to buy an already built home. With Homeport's assistance, we were able to establish a home that was custom to our needs.
Although we aren't first-generation homeowners, navigating it all can be complicated. It's often hard just to know where to start. Homeport Counselor gave us a clear steps to home ownership. We were in our starter home for 6 years. That time enabled us to become financially secure and acquire the skills and experience to build what is now our dream home. We've been in our home for 20 years.
Right before we built our second home, I joined the Housing Advisory Service team at Homeport. Having gone through homebuyer education once, I knew how to guide others through it. I worked directly with people like us to build hope and demystify the home buying process. My role has since evolved over the years, and I'm now the Senior Director of Resource Development. Among many other responsibilities, I had a leading role in bringing this evening together tonight.
This year, our story came full circle with our son, Devin. With Laverne on staff at Homeport, and both of our history with homebuyer education courses, we were able to consult Devin through the process of understanding credit and making a down payment and completing the process. Don't get me wrong, Devin was certainly the driver behind it all. He came to us knowing what he wanted, committed to the counseling sessions, stuck to the savings plan, and approached every step with intention.
Devin's story speaks to the long-term impact of Homeport's work. Devin is now a second-generation beneficiary of the program. It helped us and him become homeowners in turn. Devin was able to achieve his dream of buying a home. We are proud to see where he is today, a homeowner with enough financial stability to consider purchasing a second home. We are excited for you all to hear the full story from Devin himself.
When I first started looking at homes and starting to plan, it took me about 10 months to a year to start saving and make sure I was prepared to make a down payment and handle the closing cost. So at that point, I just started to save and be really, really intentional about the process of, becoming a home buyer. So about 6 months before my lease expired, I reached out to my parents and asked them would it be okay for me to move back in for a few months so I could start the home buying process and going through the pre-approvals and the home search. Home buyer education classes kind of gave me a GPS of, okay, this is exactly where you're gonna go. And so it taught me, the amount that I needed to budget and have saved up, things to do with my credit, things to get off of it, and to make sure I don't put anything on within the applying for the loans. The biggest hurdle I faced was actually running into so many investors who were bidding so far over asking price and paying with cash. That was by far the biggest hurdle, because I would make a nice offer on a home, and the first couple homes I was outbid just because there were investors who were paying cash only for properties, and I just couldn't compete with that. My faith for me was really, really important to me throughout the process, largely because there was a point where I was working so hard. I had saved up everything I could. I was making the offers. I was doing the open houses, and I was doing everything I could. And it kind of got to a point where it was like, all right, you're doing everything you can, and it's not enough. And you've exhausted all the tools in your toolbox that you have. And honestly, there was a lot of prayer. I found this home. I was able to find a home that was $30,000 below asking price. I purchased this home far under my budget, somehow in the craziness of the market in 2022. And that allowed me to be able to do a complete renovation of the home and add instant value to the home immediately. The house you see right now is not the house that I started with. I've done new flooring, new paint, new appliances, new fixtures, almost new everything. And so going through that process, I knew it was gonna be a tough journey and something that was gonna be a big learning experience for me. And so I was excited about it, but I also knew it was just the beginning. Living here in the house that I'm in now, it's allowed me to have renters, that it gives me more financial flexibility. So now if I want to travel or if I want to buy something, it makes it a lot easier to do that without being stressed about it. I would say that what I do is largely about purpose. And for me, I do what I do because I love to help young people, and I want to be someone who can be a role model and inspire young men, and a lot of young men don't have the right influences and guidance, and I just try to be that for them. So I'm a college basketball assistant coach at the Division III level, and so I'm making $40,000, $50,000 a year as my salary, and even with that, I'm still able to buy a home and take care of everything that I needed to, despite not making six figures. Overcoming hurdles and achieving excellence means to me that you can do anything that you put your mind to, but you have to have a plan to get there. Things don't just happen by coincidence and by accident, but if you put one foot in front of the other and take one step at a time, you'll usually be able to get there. And it might take a while or longer than you expect, but if you have a goal, just make sure you're taking intentional steps to get there.
Welcome to the stage, Charlita B. Tavares, Chief Executive Officer, Primary One Health.
Good evening, everyone. It is great to see so many people here tonight invested in the issue of housing in Central Ohio. This issue and its challenges are not unique to our city, state, or region, but we do have the power here locally to make a difference. We have seen so far tonight how housing impacts not just one's address, but it's the first and the most impactful determinant in so many of life's outcomes. For children, this means success at school. For parents, the ability to be successful at their jobs and contributing members of our community. For all, housing is a social driver of health. If one is unhoused or living in substandard housing, there is a great chance that they are not getting adequate food to take their medications, refrigeration for those medications that need to be kept cool, or the ability to receive notice of healthcare appointments. Workforce and affordable housing needs in Central Ohio are at a critical stage. We cannot address the needs and the other areas of our life and well-being if our housing needs are not met. Quality, affordable, and accessible housing is one of the top drivers of health and the well-being of our patients and community members, and it is why Primary One Health has a team specifically focused on health care for the homeless for individuals who are without housing. Tonight, we're going to hear from a radio veteran, Miracle Michael Roebuck, a 3-year resident of Homeport's Hamilton Crossing Senior Living Facility. For 35 years, Michael and his voice were a staple in the Columbus radio market. Between his side work in landscaping and his previous home that exposed him to mold, Michael lost his voice. After just a short few months in new, decent, quality housing at Hamilton Crossing, Michael got his voice back. Michael's story truly demonstrates the effect of the quality of your housing and how it can have an impact on the quality of your health. Now, we have the opportunity to hear from Michael himself.
The Hocking Hills, one of Ohio's most scenic areas. In the winter, stop what you're doing for a minute and take a look at your carpeting. Dirty? Lost that like-new look? Tales of the Smooth Jazz Sunday Brunch at the Polaris Grill. In high school, I'm talking to one of my teachers, and a teacher grading papers was a big radio person, Dick Calloway, in the tri-state area, called me over and said, "Man, you should be on the radio, I have that voice." I thought he was joking, and took him up on it, and everything started in high school. People didn't know a child was still talking to him. I was doing news for 7 years. They thought I was grown, and I was still a little teeny bopper, and then I became a DJ later.
Altogether, I was on the air for 35 years. I did voiceovers and characters and things like that after a while, emceeing events, a lot of that. And so it ran the gamut. It was good. I was at one of a few places that had mold issues, mildew and things like that. It cut my career short because I'd get calls for jobs. Hey man, we need you to MC this or lay your voice down. But they'd hear me and go, do you have a cold? Because my voice was like this for years. Just a raspy whisper. I was quite ill when I moved in October of 2020. And now glad to tell you I have my voice back and it's getting stronger by the day. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. God is good. These past 3 years at Hamilton Crossing have been a blessing to me, to say the least. It's beautiful because it's such an encouraging, positive environment. It's allowed me to get strong again and get my voice back. They call me Miracle Michael J. Roebuck because alongside the trouble I've had with my lungs and losing my voice, I've survived several heart attacks, one of them massive, several strokes, and traumatic brain injury. So you know I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you. To this day, my doctors can't understand how I'm able to even put a sentence together. They say I should be slurring and confined and slumped over in a wheelchair. So you know I'm so happy and honored to be here tonight. Moving into Hamilton Crossing has been a huge turnaround, to say the least, for me. Everyone who knows me sees the sunshine in place of the clouds that used to exist during those hard days. I have a kitchen that I call my red zone because I'm a Buckeye fan. I prepare all my meals there, and I strive for mostly vegetarian diet. I haven't perfected that yet, but it's helped me to maintain my weight and my health. I used to be almost 300 pounds, so about 75 pounds ago. I get out for my walks, thank you, and regularly I walk around the community, and some folks don't even think I look 64 years old. I don't know. The jury's still out on that one, but thank you, thank you. I am just grateful to be alive and to be functional again. Every day I'm grateful to God to still be here because he has more for me to do. The great physician still has purpose for me, and I'm just grateful for that. Thank you. I'm grateful to Homeport for this renewed hope, and I have a future in voice work again and emceeing events and things like that. It's possible now because of the turnaround in my health. It's my honor to be here and to introduce the leader of this great organization, President and CEO, Leah F. Evans. And while she comes up, I want to say thank you. Put your hands together. The people I live among and the staff are wonderful people. And Homeport has truly created a great community at Hamilton Crossing. And I know it's in large part due to Leah's leadership. Put your hands together for Leah. My pleasure to be here.
Ooh, that's something to follow, isn't it? All right. Well, good evening. Wow, it gives me chills hearing those stories, but let me stay on script before I get out of pocket. It's so good to see you all. So appreciate you all being here, and it's wonderful to be here in this historic Lincoln Theater. If you're like me, and if you've met me, you know I'm often rushing from place to place to place. So take a moment with me and just breathe it in. Look around and appreciate the history, legacy, and significance of where we sit today. Susan, the executive director of this treasured space, shared with us a few weeks ago on a bus tour that this theater was one of our community's earliest investments in equity, as it was a space created for African American artists to perform where African American attendants could come and enjoy. Her sharing was so grounding for this opportunity to celebrate and acknowledge the contributions of Stephanie Hightower and the Columbus Urban League, in their work advancing equity and bettering our community. But more about that to come. Today, I stand before you with the great pleasure and honor of being the president and CEO of an amazing organization and welcome you all to our annual Voice and Vision event. Every year, for 9 years, we've come together around this time to celebrate our work and that of our partners in building stronger communities. No work is insignificant. All labor that uplifts humanity has dignity and importance and should be undertaken with painstaking excellence. This line is from one of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s sermons, and it resonates with me in the way that it naturally speaks to the labor done by Homeport and our partner organizations. This labor, expanding stable, affordable housing options, providing supportive services to our residents, intends at its core to uplift humanity. We've said it before, and I'll say it again. It all starts at home. Reliable housing can be the difference between a child facing attendance issues due to stress and instability, or graduating at the end of 4 years with promising college and career prospects. It can be the glue for a family unit, a sanctuary where parents and children convene, relate, share, and form stronger bonds. And when home is strong, our community is strong. Dr. King goes on to say that this labor should be done with painstaking excellence. How fitting, getting the name of our event this evening, Overcoming Hurdles and Achieving Excellence. As we put another year behind us, we have so many changes and challenges and a fair number of hurdles throughout the year. This region is preparing for a population increase to 3 million by 2050. So if you think your community is bad now, think about it then. That's 3 million. In the meantime, we're being squeezed between a housing shortage crisis and a shrinking amount of land available for development. In 2022, in Franklin County alone, there were 20,000 evictions filed, surpassing the record set during the Great Recession. The Columbus metro area has a deficit of about 49,000 affordable and available homes for low-income households. Central Ohioans are struggling to access housing and face a number of related hurdles. When it comes to their health, those hurdles are housing instability is a cause of you are 40% more likely to end up in the ER. You are more likely to face higher rates of toxic stress that over time elevate the risk of heart attack and stroke. You're more likely to suffer from chronic illnesses like diabetes and hypertension, leading to lower overall life expectancies. When it comes to the safety of our neighborhoods, those hurdles and housing instability are those facing housing instability are more likely to commit survival-based crimes like theft, robbery, and trespass. This goes for our young people as well, who are more likely to violate curfew, loiter, and sleep outdoors. We've seen these effects of the housing crisis here in Franklin County as we've seen a rise in gun violence and thefts that have made headlines. But those headlines represent real neighbors, real families facing fatal consequences of not having the housing they need. We know access to affordable housing is known to reduce crime and interrupt the cycles of disinvestment and harm. Expanding access, particularly to quality housing, is the foundation to maintaining physical and mental health, educational attainment, neighborhood safety, and economic success. Maggie, Devin, and Michael, thank you for sharing your stories with us this evening about how you overcame hurdles to find stability, independence, and wellness in your own home. Their 3 stories represent the over 7,000 residents we serve and the several hundred clients we support with painstaking excellence every day. Last month, I joined our board in a retreat to discuss Homeport's strategic priorities for the future, the details of which are coming soon, so stay tuned for that. And when we hear the stories of our residents and clients, it takes those big picture concepts we discuss and brings home the tangible impact that we can have. Because for us, provision of housing is step 1. Once you're with Homeport, we ensure that there is support where it is needed. And our community partners help make that possible. We don't have to do it alone. As leaders, we see the need and recognize the hurdles. We all come in and we jump over those hurdles with our residents. Whether a family is dealing with a housing expense that is out of their control, or they need an after-school program for their children, or help filling their pantry, there's a solution out there, and we're here to help find it. This closeness that we cultivate with our residents keeps us as an organization that is informed as they grow and change. We get to adapt in real time with the people we serve, and we get the data needed to provide policy recommendations that help our public partners address the broader issues. So while we're putting boots on the ground and building homes, educating and uplifting people, and lending support where it's needed, we're also helping to facilitate the greater shifts in government action needed to expand affordable housing on a large scale. This has given us the ability to move into cities that we have not yet developed and create housing in ways that we haven't had the chance to before. We're building faster and with more efficiency. As Elder Price noted, we are at 44 communities, going on 46 this year. We've opened 3 in the last year and a half alone. The need is there. Oh, yeah, that's good. The need is there, and we are working around the clock to meet it. And we're eager to continue collaborating to advance policies and funding that supports these efforts further. As I reflect on this last year, I am encouraged by the creativity and commitment of the leaders we have that come to the table on this issue. One of those leaders who's been in this work for a long time is our Voice and Vision honoree, Stephanie, and the Columbus Urban League, the embodiment of overcoming hurdles and achieving excellence. A true mover and shaker, Stephanie leads the Urban League with Olympian levels of determination, strength, and passion. The Urban League brings value to our community in ways that are immeasurable, every year getting more people educated, finding them funding and resources to build their businesses and gain new skills for employment, as well as helping to achieve housing stability. No one can do this work alone. It takes many moving parts coming together to address an issue as big, hairy, and unruly as housing. I'm so thankful that we have partners and people like Stephanie and the Urban League to share with. Now I have the honor of introducing Larry James, Emeritus Board Member for this beautiful historic Lincoln Theater. Larry is a member of the Lincoln Theater Walk of Fame if you came in through the front door, and is a clear reason why. On top of being a highly respected litigator, he has been a longtime leader in arts and civil rights advocacy, affecting change in the business, legal, and political scene for more than 30 years. Please welcome Larry.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Larry H. James, Managing Partner, Crabb, Brown, and James, LLP.
Thank you. Good evening. Leah and Homeport, congratulations. Job well done. My sister lives over on 21st Street, was one of the early buyers of your home. It gives me a great pleasure and honor to introduce Stephanie Hightower. She is committed to excellence. She was an all-time leading hurdler at The Ohio State University. She was a 5-time champion in the 100-meter hurdles. She also 4 times in the 60 indoor champion from 80 to 82 in 1984. She's held several American and world records. She's Big Ten Conference Collegiate recognized. She's a national champion. She was president of USA Track and Field for a number of years. She served on the board after that for a number of years. And the thing I remember Stephanie most about was when she was president of the Columbus Board of Education at a very traumatic and difficult time. And the thing about leaders is they embrace those hard, difficult times and difficult decisions. The thing that I remember particularly, Stephanie called me and she said, I want you to chair our rebuilding board. It was not an easy decision. Stephanie said, I'm committed to inclusion, diversity, and we want to make sure there is that type of statement made so the community understood that when they were voting for bond issues, that people who looked like us got to participate in the opportunities, and that happened. The only negative editorial the only negative editorial was probably geared at me as chair of that board, and Stephanie said, you know what? Keep doing what you're doing. It's the right thing to do for the right reason, and people are not going to stop our ability to bring about inclusion and diversity. I think that when you look at a person and you look at the family, Stephanie as a mother, Cameron, congratulations. I think that that goes a long way of perseverance, succeeding in life, and making everyone around you better. There's a quote by Bobby Jones. It says, "Golf is the closest game to the game of life. You get bad breaks from good shots. You get good breaks from bad shots. But you have to play the ball where it lies." Stephanie Hightower has always played the ball where it lies. She has been a good daughter to her parents. I remember her calling and said, "I need to go and get them, and I need to take care of them." And I remember the conversations about Cameron and raising him and making those tough parental decisions. But she's been a great friend to Don and I, and it just gives us a great pleasure and honor to be a part of this ceremony to someone who is so deserving. And I told her, I said, I know this is tough, but when you have been the subject of so much criticism and leadership brings about that criticism, Stephanie Hightower embraces it. Congratulations.
So Stephanie leaves that impression on you that there's always something funny, serious, or she was in trouble. And so you take your pick. I've known her through them all and love her dearly.
Somehow my mother was able to master the paradox of consistently working and yet always being there for me. So the fact that she was able to work 2 jobs for most of my childhood. She was also on various sports for USA Track and Field and still find time to raise me. My appreciation for her grows more and more every day.
She's literally traveled all across the globe. She's worked with people of all different cultures, all different backgrounds. She's always respectful. She's always interested and curious as to what makes them tick, what makes their toes tap. And I think that her ability to walk into any room and connect with almost anyone in the room has a lot to do with that global experience that she had.
Stephanie is a force of nature.
One of the things that I have to consistently remind myself of is that my mom is human, because she's always been superwoman to me.
I mean, you remember her sports accomplishments at Ohio State as a hurdler, and she's always been driven.
And I don't think anyone has it more mastered than Stephanie Hightower. To be able to compete at world-class level and then transfer that grit, transfer that training and the discipline that comes in to play when you're training at that level, to transfer that into the role of a leader and a CEO requires a certain type of personality.
When Steph walks in the room, you feel her presence, but you don't feel it in a negative way. It's really positive. You can see her leadership skills and qualities kind of ooze out of who she is.
You sit down with Stephanie, it is not surface level. She can go very specific into the details, into the dollars and how they will impact folks' lives.
She's unabashed. She's fearless.
Strong, vibrant, not afraid to speak her mind.
She's courageous, she's passionate.
Funny, warm, smart.
Her style, her presence, her thought leadership.
You know, Steph's got a lot of style.
She's one of the strongest people I know. Like I said, not only because of what you see, but she's able to accomplish all of this in spite of.
When you talk about jumping over hurdles, that's Stephanie. In the true sense, if we go back to 1980, and here is someone that was all set to go to the Olympics in Moscow, but we know because of the boycott she couldn't. But did she give up? No. She comes back and places second in the Pan American Olympics. She doesn't stop there. When you think about the United States of America track and field, she becomes the president. So she doesn't let obstacles get in her way.
Stephanie, she's not a shrinking violet. She will raise her voice when she sees an inequity.
Her great strength is her ability to paint a compelling vision and to engage others in that vision.
I don't think I've ever left a meeting with Stephanie that I didn't have a little bit more pep in my step.
She's out and about, and people know her by name. They know her by face. They know what she has been able to do to help strengthen a community.
While she's leading the Urban League, she knows she has a heck of a team with her doing that work, and the day-to-day impact that she has on people, I think, is actually pretty substantial.
I mean, it all starts with the financial wherewithal that you're able to raise the funds to take on certain tasks, and she's done that better than anyone, ever.
It has been amazing to see the work that has been done at the Columbus Urban League under her leadership, the impact that she's had on Columbus, on specifically people of color and neighborhoods that have historically been left behind, focusing on fatherhood, focusing on economic empowerment of our people.
The work that she's done at the Columbus Urban League in the last 12 years, I mean, speaks for itself. Look at the partnership she had with Nationwide Huntington, the Empowerment Center there, and then most recently the partnership she has with Chase.
She convened a group called Equity Now Coalition.
ENC. More than 90-some not-for-profits and business leaders and elected officials all come together to look at how we can best serve, improve, and make our community continue to be one of the best. That's Stephanie's fingerprint on that.
Right after the death of George Floyd, she got many leaders together. We stood out in front of the Urban League and we gave our list of demands to Columbus Public Safety and to the police department.
When COVID happened. And I remember Stephanie and I were on the phone. We were both a little panicked, like everyone else.
Stephanie had the vision and the idea to go on the radio and to do a program once a week.
We worked with Radio 1 and other stations to provide weekly updates so that people would get information fresh from the Urban League.
She's a huge resource for us here in Central Ohio. She's a great partner, she's a friend, and she's somebody I love to work with.
When you think about us celebrating her being the president and CEO of the Columbus Urban League, the 8th president, but the first woman, a Black woman. And we have a lot in common with that. I love Stephanie because of the roles that she has played, but I can get her on this one. I was the first Black female to be chairman of the board of the Columbus Urban League. So Stephanie, I think you're following in my footsteps. How about that, girlfriend?
Congratulations, my friend, Ms. Stephanie Hightower.
It's a great evening for you. Congratulations.
You've had a fantastic journey.
I want you to know that we see you. We see you locally, we see you nationally, and we thank you for being an impact maker.
You are definitely the Voice and Vision Award winner for me and for everyone else in this community.
You certainly are someone that we all hold on a pedestal for your work, for your leadership, for your vision, for your tenacity.
You're so deserving. I'm glad to call you a friend, and I'm glad that you are a leader in our community.
You truly have been a voice for so many of us and provide not only the vision but inspiration.
Well deserving, you're the best.
I love you. You are my sister. I'm so happy for you. Go and have a cocktail for me.
You earned it.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the 2023 Voice and Vision Award recipient, President and CEO of the Columbus Urban League, Stephanie Hightower.
to take a picture first. Chad Jester told me I only had 5 minutes up here tonight. Before I'm gonna go off script a little bit. I don't do this kind of stuff well. When I was home waiting on Tracy to come pick me up. This is for everyone here, and especially my colleagues who are in this work. Leah, Christy, Bo. And I was listening to Reverend James Cleveland. I don't feel no ways die. And for those of you who don't know those lyrics, it says, I don't feel no ways tired. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. And when we do this work, this is what we have to stay focused on, especially as Black people. He didn't bring us this far. First, let me say a profound and heartfelt thank you. Thank you to the board, CEO Leah Evans, the leadership of Homeport. Thank you to Larry James for the introduction. And for being one of my champions. You've been a confidant, you've been a trusted advisor, and both you and Donna, you know how to keep me grounded in this work. Thank you to my board, my brilliant colleagues at the Urban League, and other members of my village who have provided those lovely testimonials. And I'm gonna use that when I go ask for some more money. Take that video, Leah, I need a copy. Go get me some additional resources for the Urban League. All of these folks that you've heard from today, they are my impact partners. They are the foundation to my success at the Urban League. Each of you inspire me, you humble me, and provide me guidance and support, and always remind me of my why. I also want to thank my family. And Cameron, you did that video and you didn't tell me. I want to thank my son, Cameron Baker. You are my greatest accomplishment. And to Tracy White, who has promised to spend the rest of his life with me. I want to thank you for your unconditional love and your support. I haven't heard hurdles so much in the last, I don't even know if I can run a hurdle anymore, right? I'll probably be paralyzed. But anyway, running in an Olympic hurdling event may have been a solo act. But when it comes to the high bars we have to clear off the track, it takes a team. And what an amazing team of people we have in our community. As I'm standing here tonight, I'm reminded again of Margaret Mead's belief that a small group of people can change the world. The folks in this room possess the intellect, determination, and sheer will to make the impossible possible. You've heard the testimonials tonight. That's heartening to me because the truth is our affordable housing problems can seem overwhelming and even insurmountable. First, and I'm going to repeat some of the history that was already spoken of tonight, the divisive and disparate inequities created by redlining policies of a century ago, they continue today. When blacks from the South migrated to northern cities to earn better incomes from factory jobs during the First World War, they moved from Jim Crow, keep out laws, straight into the teeth of neighborhood covenants. The latter sounds a lot more polite, but the net impact is the same. Black families were walled off from whites, and the economic, social, and cultural separation caused significant damage. We often think of differences between wealthy suburbs and inner cities in a matter of dollars and cents, but certainly that's only one aspect of the wall. But the truth is more profound and sobering. The truth is found in today's realities and documented by contemporary data. For example, Harvard University's Opportunity Atlas tells us that living in the wrong zip code can have traumatic and lifelong repercussions. For example, up to 60% of our overall personal health hinges on where you live. Your zip code predicts more about your life expectancy than your genetic code. Where you can live significantly limits how high you can go. Opportunity Atlas also, that data overlaid with analysis from the Economic Innovation Group, reinforces this point. Kids born into the wrong zip codes have significantly less chance to increase their earning potential later in life. In other words, zip codes put a ceiling on human potential. This means that for many people, the American dream may really be an American illusion. It's easy to see why history and reality make the work of organizations like Homeport and the Columbus Urban League seem like mission impossible. We've inherited hundreds of years of negative legacies to rise above and thousands of examples of families for whom even the most basic necessities take Herculean efforts every single day. And as I look around, and I can't really see nobody tonight when they put that in my speech, right? What I saw before we got here, right, is that I see hope in resources. I saw many servant leaders united in their belief that we can implement social justice, that we can rise above racial inequities, and that we can realize a fully inclusive economy where everybody thrives. I'm reminded of the work of Travion Shorters and his belief that we create positive change by building on assets, not myopically focusing on challenges. So my team and I at the CUL, we were so taken by Mr. Shorten's teaching on asset framing that we changed our approach to everything we do, from strategy to systems to community engagement. Each of you here tonight represents one of the strongest, best, and most reliable assets for our community. All of you are instrumental to not just creating safe, affordable homes, but in equipping and inspiring all of our families to achieve their dreams and realize their full potential. It's been said, if you know your why, your what has more impact. And he who knows a why to live for can bear almost any how. So accepting this honor tonight is another reminder of my why: to contribute to seek different solutions to long-standing issues and to create pathways to opportunity and economic prosperity for all. Thank you for the privilege.
welcome to the stage Leah Evans, Homeport's President and CEO.
Like they don't know yet. Like they don't remember who I was from last time. All right, so we're wrapping it up. We're getting there. We're getting there. This is the last time you'll see me tonight. So thank you again, Stephanie, for your leadership, your vision in our community, and the partnership we have with the Columbus Urban League. If you didn't know, they actually are renting space in our building, and they brought so much life and vitality to our office with their Workforce Readiness University. There was step-in, there was games. It was a wonderful summer, and so just thank you, because I know that's the energy that you bring to everything that you do. So thank you for that. I can't think of a more appropriate honoree this past year. As has been said many times tonight, partnership, collaboration between public and private entities to address a need as important as housing is how Homeport has continued to advance our mission of closing the gap. Homeport began in 1987 when the area was in a period of rapid growth, and as we've seen, that growth has not slowed. In fact, we continue to grow faster than developers can build. We know that when there is a shortage of housing, it becomes a rigged game of musical chairs. Those with means will always find a home, while those without will have to settle for unsafe housing, inadequate appliances, lack of access to transportation, and streets without sidewalks, if they find a home at all. The movement to provide housing for all hasn't come without its challenges. From a lack of resources to high interest rates, rising costs, and a less tangible challenge, the stigma. There are folks who hear the words affordable housing and fear reductions in property value, poorly maintained communities, and rising crime. We know that mixed income housing has the opposite effect, uplifting the quality of living for everyone in the area, improving public safety, and providing more opportunities for people living on low incomes to find social and economic mobility. We need supporters of our mission, people like you, to help change the narrative. We need you at zoning meetings, voting and engaging people in your networks. And we need your investment to further our mission, as Stephanie mentioned. Shane, I had to put a real quick plug in before I go on with the rest of my remarks and just say, it would seem odd for one nonprofit to give platform to another nonprofit, but I think that's part of the partnership and collaboration. We are not competing, we are peers, we're lifting each other up. So thank you. If you are passionate about building stronger communities, supporting family stability, and creating a future Central Ohio that houses everyone, then please text the word HOMES, H-O-M-E-S, to 345-345, or use the QR codes on the cards throughout the room to make a contribution. Any amount, no matter the size, will make a difference. Before we say goodnight, I want to express my extreme gratitude to all of our wonderful partners, funders, stakeholders, board members, and the Central Ohio community. Thank you to our sponsors for supporting us in this event. It has been vital to the continued work of Homeport, and we could not have done it without you. To our presenting partner, MI Homes, we truly appreciate the long-term partnership and investment in our organization and our mission. MI has a historic connection to Homeport, if you didn't know, with Irving Schottenstein being a founding leader of the nonprofit organization that is now known as Homeport. We are honored to be so intrinsically linked to an organization such as MI. And to our Homeport board members, if you're here in the room, please wave to be acknowledged. We thank you for your generosity, time. Oh, good to see you. Their time, I'm gonna say time again, there's lots of time with us, their energy and engagement on behalf of Homeport. Each year, you dedicate hundreds of hours to the governance of this organization so that we can accomplish all the work that we discussed here tonight. Finally, to my incredible Homeport team, if you should have been engaged with them, some of them were greeting you, some of them were helping you find your way around the building. To our incredible team, please wave your hands. I know you're throughout the room. Yeah. I so deeply appreciate the way that you have advanced our mission every day and supported me in the past year and a half as your leader. I'm eager to see what next year holds for us. So thank you all for being here and helping us celebrate a great year. We'll see you again next time. Now, here is where I normally will tell you the date of next year's event. But we got a couple surprises that we're planning for our 10th year of Voice and Vision. So we're going to hold that, and we'll make sure to get that out to you via email. So we look forward to seeing you next year. Be safe, make sure to vote in November, and have a great holiday season.
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face, when someone else instead of me always seems to know the way, then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seemed impossible to face,